Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please hit the subscribe now. This start video now. According to Jessa, 32, who appeared on an edition of the Duggar and Jeremy podcast on Wednesday, May 28th, she recalled joy in particular. It was adorable. As she sat there, she wondered, who is this guy? All she would do was give us the side look. Then 30 made light of the fact that Jessa's siblings might be curious about the identity of the new family member. I don't think they trusted me as much because I wasn't part of their inner circle or friend group, he said. I am this mysterious alien individual. Because of this, they were somewhat wary of me and more cautious overall. Jessa now thinks her siblings were just nervous about the new dynamic in the house, even though the family accepted Ben fast. She elaborated, I was the first daughter to be in a serious relationship, but none of my siblings didn't like him as a person. Nearly a year after Ben and Jessa's official courting started, they tied the knot in November 2014. Spurgeon, Henry, and George are the boys, and Ivy and Fern are the girls that the couple now shares with their 5 children. The former star of 19 Kids and Counting made the announcement that she is pregnant with her 6th child in March. In her most recent interview, Jessa reflected on a time when she dreamed of a world where her partner would be loved and cherished by all members of her family. Before I was in a relationship, I'd always thought, when I start getting to know a guy, I want every single one of my 19 siblings to love and adore him and give their blessing and approval and just be BFFs with him, she added. I had this lofty goal in mind. Jessa acknowledged that many of her relatives had strong relationships with Ben, but she realized that her marriage is the most important thing in her life. The fact that she was the one proposing marriage made her realize that not everyone needed to share her feelings for Heshan. I hope no one hates him, that much is certain. I would have rather to hear someone's sincere worries if they existed, but it wasn't like that. Jessa plans to have more children in the future. She is also very appreciative of the man she married, who has been an amazing father and companion. It wasn't love at first sight when Ben Seawald joined the Duggar family's world for everyone. Even while Jessa Duggar was head over heels for the quiet, religious youngster from Hot Springs, Arkansas, not everyone in her notoriously protective family shared her feelings. After being married for almost 10 years and raising 5 children, Ben and Jessa seemed to be a rock-solid unit. However, when their courting initially started, several Duggar relatives were secretly wondering if Ben was the right match for Jim Bob and Michelle's most independent daughter. An unconventional suitor. Meet the Duggars. Ben Seawald, a young man of 17 years old. Jessa was 20 years old and was becoming known as one of the more rebellious and opinionated Duggar girls. Insiders claim that there was anxiety behind the scenes regarding how fast Ben was included in the plot, even if many fans loved the idea of the two falling in love at camp. In addition to not sharing the Duggars' ultra-conservative background, he also didn't hail from a large family. The Duggar standards for courting, modesty, and gender roles were based on the Institute for Basic Life Principles, IBLP, which Ben was less immersed in despite his strong Christian faith. It was supposedly noticed by Jim Bob, the father of the family. A family friend mentioned that Jim Bob was quite inquisitive. He had never encountered a man of such young age or from such a diverse cultural background. Some members of Ben's family were uncomfortable because he wasn't brought up in the same way. My goals and my age. Concerns about Ben's age surfaced early. He started talking to Jessa when he was 17 years old, not yet out of high school. Their courtship didn't begin until he was 18 years old. A potential red flag for Ben's family, who prioritized maturity and financial security before marriage, was his youth. According to a friend of the Duggar family, he was still figuring out what he wanted to do with his life. How he would support a family and the career path he would take were among the concerns voiced. Some of his elder siblings felt he wasn't quite ready. But it seemed like it didn't bother Jessa at all. She stood by Ben's integrity and maturity from the start. On 19 Kids and Counting, she frequently gushed over his reassuring manner, devotion to scripture, and firm beliefs. According to sources close to the Duggar family, Michelle Duggar and several of her siblings had private doubts about the match. The constant eye of Jim Bob. The Duggars oversaw Ben and Jess's romance meticulously, as they do with every courtship. There was a restriction on in-person visits, chaperones for phone calls, and monitoring of texts. On the other hand, rumor has it that Jim Bob went above and beyond with Ben. Jim Bob was completely entangled, a source revealed. He kept a close eye on Ben. Questions and discussions regarding religion, duty, and leadership increased. He was concerned that Ben might be seeking fame at the expense of his integrity. As far as anyone could tell, Ben was unfazed by the scrutiny. He worked hard to earn the family's trust with his demeanor. Quiet and collected and seldom resisted, he quickly gained the respect of the patriarch, Jim Bob, through his volunteer work, project assistance, and many theological conversations with the Duggars. An appeal and persistent uncertainties. After getting Jim Bob's okay, Ben proposed to Jessa in 2014, but word on the street is that not everyone was jumping for joy just yet. Uncertainty remains among several Duggar relatives regarding Ben's future plans and his compatibility with the traditional Duggar way of life. A family member stated, "He was always respectful, but he also had opinions that differed from the Duggars' beliefs." Concerns about potential future conflict were voiced, especially in relation to the potential impact on children. Conflicts did emerge in subsequent years, though, especially when Jessa and Ben subtly distanced themselves from the IBLP doctrine and stopped showing up at Duggar family events. This change may have its origins in their early marriage as they began to express increasingly complex opinions on parenting, modesty, and religion. Jessa's unwavering devotion. Despite everything, Jessa never wavered in her unwavering devotion to Ben. She was resolute in her commitment to her partner and her willingness to set boundaries, even when others in her family had subtle reservations. Jessa Duggar was known for being one of the more outspoken daughters of the Duggar family. As an engaged couple, she and Ben were the first in her family to publicly embrace, and they were also forthright about having lengthy conversations when no one was there to listen. They paved the way for subsequent Duggar siblings to approach relationships, modeling a more relaxed and self-assured approach throughout their courtship. Jessa made it clear that Ben was her choice. A family acquaintance stated, "Nobody, not even her parents or siblings, could dissuade her. His faith was unwavering." Overcoming doubt to embracing. As time went on, many doubters began to see through Ben's devotedness as a husband and father. He then became an influential member of his church, studied theology, and preached. He and Jessa now bring up their children in a more understated modern way than her siblings did, remaining out of the limelight but being engaged with their fans online. Despite some backlash from fans who continue to obsess over the Duggar family, Ben has established himself as an integral part of the Duggar family history. Ben isn't loud and he doesn't care about fame. The man he is reliable. Some of his family members needed time to understand that different doesn't necessarily mean wrong. He was just unique. Concluding remarks. From skepticism to commitment. In hindsight, the initial reservations about Ben were not based on scandal, but on questions of age, ambition, and the possibility of a genuine fit between the Duggar molds and someone outside of it.